They're almost ready to get underway. The referee just setting the watch. And here we go. Reading's under-21s taking on Arsenal's under-21s here. You might remember a very famous game between the two first teams back in the League Cup. Arsenal were 7-5 winners on this ground after extra time in what was a thrilling game. They were 4-0 down at half-time, the Gunners. That's what comes to my mind when I think of this famous football ground. Once known as the Medeski Stadium, it is now the Select Car Leasing Stadium. So Arsenal have a throw in here, which Marcel Washington is going to take. Inside it goes. It was towards Harriman Anous, who wins it back for Arsenal, and then Washington will send it upfield. Mooney will chase this, but it's calmly rolled back to his goalkeeper by Philip Dua. Good header from Jaden Dixon, picked up by Luke Howard. That's sent forward by Hicks. Dixon again ready to intercept for Arsenal, and Ibrahim will just roll it into Marley Salmon's feet. Arsenal looking to settle in possession here. Jack Porter will clip it forward, the Chelmsford-born Arsenal goalkeeper. Ibrahim involved there, but Reading managed to pinch it back before then losing possession. Here's Washington, lovely little check inside from him. Son of course, former Chelsea player Ryan Bertrand. Here's Braden Clark. There's Mooney coming deep to receive. Gets it once again and just lays it off to Dixon before getting it back. His attempted pass closed down there. Arsenal restart things. Jaden Dixon just loses out there, and that'll be a Reading throw-in on that far side that Kelvin Abrafer's going to take. Well, I mentioned that Reading have won their last 4 in the league. Those wins came against Blackburn, Forest, Burnley and Stoke, and during that run they scored 11 goals, conceding just twice. So they're a side too with a strong defensive unit, but who have shown that they can score goals with ease as well. It's a difficult game for Max Porter's young side here this evening. Marley Salmon managed to get a foot on that, and then he won the second ball. Yeah, Julien does well on that far side and forces an Arsenal throw-in just shy of the halfway line. There's Reading's David Hicks. He's got 5 goals this season. He's one that Arsenal need to keep close tabs on here this evening. Dixon sends this back to Clark. Gets it back from Porter. There's Julien's pass into Mooney, helps it round the corner. O'Neill takes this on. Nicely done from him. Lovely little back heel to Mooney. Brilliant save from the goalkeeper, and it's still alive, but Reading managed to work it clear. Arsenal's best attacking move so far. Harriman Anous. Washington's cut back. Opportunity here for the Gunners. Ibrahim, and it's come to Mooney. Can he make it into something more? But in the end it was swept away. Arsenal knocking at the door here. This was Mooney's effort. Well saved down to his right by Harrison Roan. Reading couldn't quite clear their lines. having to deal with an Arsenal onslaught there, but they survive. Arsenal corner from this near side. That ball's never where it should be. In comes the delivery, low in towards the near post and cleared away. Harriman with the interception there to stop Jari Jones coming away with it for Reading. Andre Harriman scored the winning goal in Arsenal's last PL2 game, that 1-0 win over Newcastle. It was a late goal. He saw his penalty kick saved, only to nod in the rebound and secure maximum points for the Gunners on that occasion. Porter plays it short. Made his first team debut for Arsenal in the Carabao Cup against Bolton back in September 2024. He's had a taste of action in the first team. That's nicely brought under control by Mooney. Just about manages to keep it in play. Has he won a throw? And he has. He's done well. Taken quickly into Harriman Mooney goes for the return. He cuts it back. He was looking for Harriman who may have just nicked that away, but Reading managed to clear their lines, and they come forward now with Jones. Jones still on the charge. He's got plenty of pace, Jari Jones, and his shot from distance balloons over the top of the crossbar. A great drive there to work the space that was in front of him. Difficult for Ibrahim on Washington to make a challenge as he sort of ran across them. And shot at the end of it though didn't match the quality of the run. 7 minutes gone. Reading's under-21s 0, Arsenal 0 in this PL2 fixture. It's a foul on Theo Julien. Elliot Swallow very quick to blow his whistle that time. Here's Braden Clark. Joined the club in 2024 after leaving Wolves, the Welsh defender. Was on the bench for the first team against Bournemouth towards the back end of last season. There's a number of these young players that have had an opportunity to be a part of the first team squad under Mikel Arteta. Really good, isn't it, for those young players to see a clear pathway into that first team. It drives them, it motivates them. And a motor. Here's Dewar at the back for Reading. Now Tyler Saki. Back to the Reading skipper. Brafer. That's with Harrison Roan, the goalkeeper. Sends a driven ball out towards Coke Miles Smith, but it's well shepherded back to his goalkeeper, that by Jaden Dixon. The last meeting between these two sides in the PL2 was during the 23-24 season. It was a 3-0 Arsenal win that day. The scorers, a certain Ethan Waneri, Kion Edwards and Charles Sago Jr. It's nicely worked inside to Augustien. Mooney was just offside. Beg your pardon, it was O'Neill who had strayed into that offside position. Reading free kick coming up to 10 minutes played. It's Arsenal who've created the better opportunity. Mooney forcing a save out of Harrison Roan down to his right-hand side. There's Max Porter passing on instructions from the sidelines. Someone that Arsenal clearly trust with the development of so many of these young stars who are destined for big things in football. Here's Marley Salmon, he's certainly destined for big things. It's intercepted though by Jerai Jones. Saki sends that forward, it'll run all the way through to Porter. Marley Salmon, always so composed with the ball at his feet. Braden Clark will go back to his goalkeeper on this instance before receiving it straight back. Looking for that forward pass, he finds the feet of Kadak O'Neill. Dixon forward down the right-hand side. Nice movement from Mooney. His ball is into the box. It's allowed to run by Augustien, and it's swept away there by Emmanuel Osho. Arsenal ball over on that far side. Here's Ibrahim. Osho again with the clearance for Reading. Nicely taken out of the air that by Bachaman. Nice little layoff that from David Hicks. He knew he was being closed down. Bachaman takes that nicely on the chest and then sends it out to this right-hand side. Osho looking to come forward, but that's brilliant defending from Washington. It really is. The timing of the tackle was superb. Can Harriman and Noose keep a hold of it? He can't. Reading have it back, and Hicks has his pocket picked. Here's Andy Rinomota. Arsenal happy to sit in their shape at the moment. Here come the hosts now down that left-hand side. Delivery into the box, and it will run all the way through. A thumbs up from Kelvin Bachaman. As well aware, I think, of what the intention was from Reading's left-hand side. Reading have won it back high up here. Hicks gets it back again. Delivers this into the box, and it was cleared away by Dixon. Not the best of clearances. Which means Reading are still alive here. Osho, left-footed ball into the box. Dixon had to stay calm there before clearing with his left boot. Nice turn from Rinomota. Ball in towards the far post, kept alive there, and an opportunity almost for Reading, who managed to work it across the face of the goal and cause Arsenal all sorts of panic at the back. There's 12 places between these two sides in the PL2. I wouldn't think it based on the first 14 or so minutes. I mentioned recent form. Both sides have had their struggles this season. Reading's record reads as follows: 4 wins, 3 draws and 6 defeats in the PL2. Arsenal's record is 6 wins, 4 draws and 3 defeats. Seven points between them. It's going to be an Arsenal ball. It's going to be given the other way now. Here's O'Neill. Now Ibrahim. Riley Salmon to Clark. Well, Salmon once again, who has had opportunities in the first team to show what he can do, albeit the minutes have been limited, but often it's been in that right-back role. He is a centre-back by trade. That's Mikel Arteta's way of just easing him into things. As that move breaks down, Arsenal look to win it back in midfield, but they lose out as Hicks sends it out towards the left. Jaden Dixon's done well here. He's managed to win a free kick. The 18-year-old signed from Stoke earlier this month. This is his third appearance for the Arsenal under-21s. I think I'm right in saying the first start. Salmon. He was trying to find Washington. He's just put a little bit too much on that. There's Peter Scott, the man who's in charge of Reading's youngsters. And one of his coaching staff just trying to figure out the best way to hurt this Arsenal side. Been a pretty even contest, you'd say, so far. And just to let you know, if you are of an Arsenal persuasion, we will be rolling the extended highlights of Arsenal's 4-1 victory at Spurs yesterday. Well worth sticking around at half-time if you want to relive that. Brilliant day for the club, in particular for Eberici Eze and Victor Gyökeres, who really stepped up to the mark during the derby. I don't know about you guys, but I'll never get tired of watching that back. Osho inside, that's swept forward. Washington does well. He kept his eye on that before volleying it away. It was Jari Jones who was challenging for it. Osho to take this throw. Coming up to the 20-minute mark. To have the breakthrough here. Mooney's effort that was saved is probably about as close as we've come so far. Arsenal started the game probably the brighter of the two sides, but Reading, you have to say, have settled down and wrestled back a bit of control since then. Washington's ball inside, helped on by Augustien. Hayden Clark loses out. Jaden Dixon will come and clean up on that right-hand side and just rolls it back to his goalkeeper. It was a little bit short, the pass. Porter had to be on his toes there. He did well, in fairness to him, the goalkeeper. Here's Julien. Salmon. Nicely done by Washington. Nice little reverse pass out to this left-hand side. Harry Mananous will carry it. Still going, Andre Harry Mananous, and he was clipped there by David Hicks. Arsenal free kick on this near side. Andre Harriman-Anus, a player who often plays through the middle, but in order to accommodate some of the others, he's just been shuffled out to this left-hand side where he can still be very effective, as you've just seen there. Once he gets into his stride, he's very, very difficult to keep up with. He played 77 minutes for the first team in the Carabao Cup 4th round win over Brighton. Also made a Champions League appearance against Slavia Prague. Kaydak O'Neill is going to take this free kick for Arsenal. Looks like he's about to whip it in. He does just that, and the goalkeeper gets 2 strong fists on it. Harriman-Anus will recover it over on that far side. Julien's delivery into the area. Comfortable gather for the goalkeeper, and Reading look to break forward down this right-hand side with Coke Miles Smith. He's worked it into Jerai Jones, held up there by Washington. And then Dixon gets back to support and then sees his attempted clearance charged down. That'll be an Arsenal throw-in on this near side. Well covered that by Jayden Dixon. Here's another look at that delivery into the box. To keep his eye on that, Harrison Rohn, as he beat it away. Washington down the line. There's Washington again. Dua into Saki. Under pressure from Mooney, but calmly finds his goalkeeper. He wants the angle for the pass there. Harrison Rohn, he made that very, very clear, didn't he? He receives it back. It's not a great pass, is it, to Tyler Saki? Forced him much wider than he would have liked, and in the end the ball just ran out of play. Washington looking for some support, looking for some movement. Here's Braden Clark. We're over halfway through this first period, a quarter of the way into the match. Still goalless between these two. Harriman-Anus does brilliantly there and plays it into space for Mooney. Has a look over his shoulder, Mooney. Does well to protect the ball, works it inside to Julien. Ibrahim into Augustien. Can he make room for the shot? He'll try and clip it through. He was looking for Harriman-Anus, who just drifted infield from that wide left position. Couldn't quite pick him out. You can see the disappointment on Damien Augustien's face there. The idea was a good one, the execution not quite what it needed to be. Foul. Ryan Coke Miles Smith just caught there. Nicely taken on by Mooney. Let's see what he was trying to do. He was trying to find Ife Ibrahim there. Reading have it back. Arsenal pressing aggressively at the moment. Julien's done really, really well, and it just wouldn't fall for Mooney there. Harriman-Anus just got his foot stuck in the ground there. That looked awkward. Play continues as Reading work it out to the left-hand side. Here's Abrafa, low ball into the box, well intercepted by Ibrahim. Kaydak O'Neill is back, helping out defensively, and he wins Arsenal a free kick. The referee just signalling that he felt that the young Northern Irishman's shirt was being pulled. Porter to send this upfield. It'll be a Reading ball. Down the line it goes as they look to try and force it forward. Arsenal done a good job of just wrestling back a bit more control, having started the game quite brightly, just dropping off a little bit in terms of their intensity, but seem to have just found that little bit more energy again in the press, and that will serve them well. However, you feel they need to keep hold of possession just that little bit more effectively. Ibrahim does well. Here's Julien. Augustien's effort took a deflection. Over the top of the crossbar it goes. Arsenal corner kick from that right-hand side. 18-year-old Dutchman. Joined the club from Derby County. Letting fly from distance there. I thought the corner was going to be taken from the opposite side. It's going to be taken from this near side instead. Arsenal's left. Kaydak O'Neill being pulled up for where he's placed the ball. I have to say he got away with one early on in the game, didn't he? It was definitely not inside the quadrant. I'm not sure this one is either, but does it make that much difference? And it comes from Kaydak O'Neill. The goalkeeper's missed it. It's headed away. It's helped forward by David Hicks. And this will be taken on by Bachuman. And carry it into the Arsenal box. He gets the shot off. That wasn't far wide at all, you know. Applause from those inside the Select Car Leasing Stadium today, because it's exactly what you want to see from your centre forward, isn't it? Drifted into the channel. Carried it infield brilliantly. Just tried to bend it inside that far post. Tell you what, Jack Porter barely moved there, but he was concerned by that. No doubt about it. Clark sends this forward. O'Neill deceived a little bit by the bounce, but used his body well to win the free kick. Taken quickly by Jaden Dixon. Here he is again, the former Stoke City man. Nicely done this. Julien helps it on. Harriman Anous across the face of goal. Keeper's parried it, but there was no one in red and white ready to pounce as that ball broke loose. Arsenal flooding bodies forward there. Harriman Anous did the right thing, putting it into that danger zone. Here he is again, coming off that left-hand side, carrying the ball brilliantly, and that time he was caught by Jerai Jones, who goes into the referee's book. Can't really have too many complaints, can he? It was cynical. Harriman Anous was on the charge. The only way you were going to stop him was to bring him down illegally. Half an hour on the clock. 0-0 here. Harrison Roan, the Reading goalkeeper, has certainly been the busier of the two. Augustien and O'Neill both standing over this. They take it short. O'Neill back inside to Augustien. Lovely pass in behind, and Marley Salmon tried to beat the goalkeeper. Did the flag go up? I think it did. Over on that far side, there we go. Have a little routine though from Arsenal. Just didn't quite come off. Marley Salmon maybe just went a little bit too early. Great vision, nice pick out too. Credit to Harrison Roan because he wasn't to know that Marley Salmon was offside. He came sprinting out and goes down the angle for the Arsenal defender. Hicks looking to help this on. It takes a ricochet. Can Porter prevent the corner? He can. Here's Salmon. Saki. Pretty heavy touch that. He's giving it away to Harriman Anous. Mooney's pressure working wonders, but Harriman Anous just waiting for Mooney to catch up with the play, and he couldn't quite do so. That's loose in the middle of the park from Luke Howard, and in the end he commits a foul. Tell you what, the way Arsenal had forced Reading into an error there at the back. Harriman Anous on the charge. He might have been better served just carrying that towards the penalty area alone. He's looking for Evan Mooney's support. I know Evan Mooney hasn't been at Arsenal very long. He has made 23 senior appearances for St Mirren. Did arrive here earlier this month with a view to being a part of this under-21s group. And you just get the feeling in the early stages of his Arsenal career that he's building quite the relationship with Andre Harriman Anous. I know it didn't quite work out that time, but it's clearly an understanding between the pair of them that's developing all the time. Here's Osho on the charge for Reading. Coke Miles Smith looking to take on Jaden Dixon. Delivers the ball in, right-footed. It's a attempted header that from Jeriah Jones. Did it take a deflection? I think it did. Arsenal need to defend the corner. Well, David Hicks is going to take this. He's going to drive it in. It's a good delivery. There's Washington at the near post who dealt with it. And Harriman Anous back defending, and he's volleyed that up into the stands. Puts his hand up to apologise. That's sent forward by Dewar. It's given away to Mooney. He's got O'Neill making a run ahead of him. Mooney goes for goal, and he tried to catch the keeper out, and he has! Wow! A sublime finish from Evan Mooney. And Arsenal who have created one or two chances of note in this first half, have taken the lead via a special finish from Evan Mooney. He looked up, he spotted Harrison Roan off of his line, and he went for it. And when you've got talent like this young man, why not? Let's have a look at it again. He picks it up on halfway. Just as he exits the centre circle, he has a look up, and he catches the goalkeeper out. And Evan Mooney, signed from St Mirren, a player that Arsenal have been looking at for a little while, just 18 years of age, has his first goal in Arsenal red and white, and what a goal it is. Reading 0, Arsenal 1. Braden Clark's header forward. This changes the dynamic of the game now, doesn't it? Washington has to get there first, and he does, and he just guides it back to his goalkeeper before receiving it back at left back. Here's Philip Dua, lays it off to David Hicks. Reading looking to respond before the break. They've got a little over 8 minutes or so to do it. Salmon does well there. Half-time fast approaching. Arsenal a goal to the good. Evan Mooney, the star of the show so far, with that fantastic effort. Here's Washington. Remember to stay with us during the half-time break. We'll bring you the highlights from the first half here, as well as the extended highlights from Arsenal's victory at Tottenham yesterday afternoon. And it saw the Gunners extend their lead at the top of the Premier League back to 5 points. One that has really restored the feel-good factor among the Arsenal fans. You'll never tire of watching that, I can assure you. Just wonder if Marley Salmon was caught a little bit late there. He's gone into the midfield at the moment, hasn't he? So confident in possession. Arsenal just adjusting their shape at the back to accommodate that. Porter sends this forward. Washington challenges but loses out to Osho, and Hicks helped that on in hope that someone in blue and white was going to latch onto it. Instead it rolls all the way through to Jack Porter in goal. Chip ball out to the right. Dixon's first touch was a little bit loose. Reading win it on that left-hand side. Can they create something before the break? It's swept away by Braden Clark. They've got a man down though over on that far side, which means a brief pause in play here. It was Luke Howard who took a bit of a knock. He's back on his feet, which is good news. Just over 5 minutes of normal time to play. Nicely done that by Jerai Jones. He's still got it. Cleared away. Looks like it's going to come back again though, as Reading win back possession now. Abrafa works it out to the left-hand side. Coke Miles Smith is giving that away. Kadak O'Neill on hand to pick it up for Arsenal. If Ibrahim takes the safe route back to his goalkeeper, who clears up towards halfway. Here's Dixon. Salmon. Washington into the channel. Harriman and Usul try and get on the end of it, but across came Tyler Saki. Two young Gunners supporters down there, just in shot. Reading not too far from London. Yeah, Julian is winding a big one up here. Into the box it goes. That's the end, just pushed over there, right underneath the nose of the referee, Elliot Swallow. David Hicks protesting his innocence, but doesn't really have a leg to stand on, does he? It's a clear shove into the back of Denian Augustien, the son of former Premier League player Kemi Augustien. What a good signing this young man looks to have been from Derby County. Will it be his left-footed delivery into the box, or will Kadak O'Neill send this in with the right foot? O'Neill leaves it. Augustien's delivery in towards the far post this time. Goes out and behind for a goal kick. Braden Clark not able to do much about that, as it was helped onto his chest, I think, before it ended up going behind. Nicely done by Osho. No turn on the Burners. He's managed to skip over two challenges on his way, and he tried to release Oyi Bachaman. Ali Salmon on the stretch prevents that from turning into something a lot more dangerous as far as Arsenal are concerned. Wonderful anticipation from the Arsenal centre half. Hicks with the corner. Into the box it goes, and it will land on the roof of the net. Wasn't the greatest delivery, was it? Not long to go in this first period. You'd argue that overall Arsenal have been the better side, although Reading had a couple of spells where they started to look threatening themselves. As it stands, though, a moment of brilliance separates the two sides. And that moment of brilliance came from Arsenal's Evan Mooney. Stays in play. Harrison Rowan will recover this. Well, conceding that goal hasn't put him off stepping up and coming and getting the ball, has it? It's often an instruction you see given to the modern day goalkeeper. It does leave you open to that kind of trouble, though. Abrafa up to this right side. Osho brings it under control. Saki into Dua. Brafer lets it run across his body. Finds Miles Smith, and there'll be 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half, which feels about right. Arsenal just need to remain focused, stay in shape, make sure they go in at the break with their noses in front. Jones. Nicely done by him. Washington had a little pull of the shirt there. Play continues. And the challenge was on Andy Rinomota. There were appeals for a Reading penalty. The referee was not interested in the slightest. The great thing about the PL2 is that there's no VAR to delay us for 5 or 6 minutes as they try and make sense of what's happened. Here's Harriman Anous. Mooney in behind. Augustien's in the middle. Mooney picks him out. No, he can't quite do it. Comes to O'Neill on the far side. Dixon forward from the back. That was a big opportunity for Arsenal, and that was the last action of that first half. I got the feeling as this game unfolded that it was going to take something special to break that deadlock as far as Arsenal were concerned, and that it was from the Arsenal forward as that ball creeps out of play on the far side, and Marcel Washington will take the resulting throw-in. Down the line it goes. There's a loose pass back in his direction. Miles Smith. Left-footed shot, and Porter had to make the save. Comfortable one for the Arsenal goalkeeper. The only effort in this second half for Reading. Here's Marley Salmon. Fizzes it into Washington, whose first touch wasn't great there. Let's take a ricochet, however, off of the Reading man. That'll be an Arsenal ball. Lovely little step over there from Miles Smith before he fired towards goal with that left foot. Down the line that goes again. It's driven out towards the left-hand side by David Hicks. Miles Smith is chasing and trying to pinch it from Jaden Dixon, who did really well to shake him off there. Brilliant from the Arsenal man, and he's got it back in the right back slot. Nice and composed from the Gunners at the back. As Clark sends this forward. It's over the top of O'Neill. Mooney will chase it. He's been a willing runner all evening. Here's Julien. Nicely done from him. Into Mooney once again. Does really well here. It might break for Augustien, who was in the vicinity. Reading clear, and Arsenal have it on halfway and look to build again. It's going to be a yellow card for Augustien. I think it was the little pull of the shirt that did it, as far as the referee was concerned. Let's go is the message from the referee. Just lost the ball. He just had a pull, didn't he, of Andy Rinomota's shirt. Julien does well, but that'll be a Reading free kick. There was a foul committed against Kelvin Brafer as he carried the ball infield for the Royals. Driven ball out to the right from Hicks. That's nicely worked inside to Rinomota. He swivels away nicely from Ibrahim. Miles Smith with a miscontrol. Max Porter will be concerned at how much space the Reading number 11 has found himself in on this near side at the early stages of this second half. Something for Arsenal to tighten up, that's for sure. Harriman and Oos fouled. Arsenal free kick right on the touchline. Washington wanted to get on with it quickly. In the end, he rolls it back to Marley Salmon. Here's Braden Clark. Porter with a lovely pick out to find Washington. Salmon's ball forward. I guess the end couldn't quite bring it under his spell. Minamoto looking to get away from Jaden Dixon. Stood firm, did the Arsenal fullback. It's given away though by Mooney, who was dropping deep there in a bid to just try and get himself involved in the game. He's been a little bit isolated at the start of this second half. Coke Miles Smith attacking the box, looking to make a dart towards the byline, but Dixon with a good challenge, and that must have ricocheted back off of the Reading player, because the referee, who was right on top of it, was pointed for the goal kick. Let's have another look at it. Yeah, it was Kean Coke Miles Smith who got the final touch. It's looked impressive, Jaden Dixon. You can see why Arsenal were keen to bring him to the club. Player that once upon a time, I'll say it quietly, was a part of the Tottenham youth setup, then made the move to Stoke. That was in 2022, and 4 years later, he's at Arsenal. It's an effort from distance that goes just wide in the end. Let's see there, Kelvin Bacharan was unhappy at the fact that he wasn't slipped in. He felt that that was a little bit selfish from David Hicks with the number 10 on his back. Arsenal want to play this out from the back. Porter sends it out to the right. O'Neill's flick on. Mooney's going to come out to this near side to challenge for it, but Philip Dua had plenty of time. Here he is again. The Reading captain on the night. Washington's header's a good one. He's under quite a bit of pressure there from Emmanuel Osho. Just get the sense that Andre Harriman and Oos is still adjusting to playing in that wide position. Has been operating as a centre forward for so much of his Arsenal career to date. It's a very different role. And the ball is absolutely fine. I'd imagine the biggest adjustment comes out of possession in terms of the defensive positions that you need to take up. All part of his development though. Here's Clark. Gets into the channel for Mooney to chase. He's quick, but he's not that quick. Reading clearly keen to get on with this. Brafer sends it down the line. Dixon gets there first and just rolls it back to Jack Porter. It's into Theo Julian, lovely little change of direction. Ibrahim gives it back to him. He's going to play a pass into the path of Andre Harriman and Oos, who makes his way inside the box. Harriman and Oos! Oh, that's brilliant! Well, I was just saying, he's had to make that adjustment from centre forward into that left wing position. But the way he took that chance is as if he's been playing it all his life. Wonderful play from Theo Julien in the build-up. The drop of the shoulder, the way he let the ball run across his body. Ibrahim then set him on his way. And he picked out a peach of a pass to Andre Harriman-Anous, who, let's be honest, still had plenty to do. Took it in his stride beautifully. And the finish, sublime. The weight on this from Julien, perfect. Tyler Saki couldn't quite get close enough. And when Harriman-Anous created that half a yard, well, he let his talent do the rest. Arsenal 2 goals to the good. Wonderful, wonderful goal. And Reading now, who've been in a really good run of form themselves, won their last 4 in the division, have it all to do. That's an offside over on that far side against Uriah Jones. Wonderful Arsenal move, wasn't it? Both Arsenal goals this evening have been of the highest quality. Andre Harriman-Anous, just 18 years of age. Player that Mikel Arteta turned to a little bit earlier in the season when he was short of attacking options. And Arsenal could find a third here as Mooney's efforts blocked. I mentioned those first team appearances, I suspect it won't be the last that Andre Harriman-Anous has to his name. Here come Reading looking to hit back. Well done by Julien, who continued running back. Managed to just win the ball back from the Reading player's blind side. Here he is again. Nicely done from Julien once more. Salmon just cushions it into his path before he sends it out to the left-hand side. And that was a slightly late challenge there on Marcel Washington. O'Neill around the corner. Augustien was looking for O'Neill, who had continued his run down the right-hand side. Lovely switch of play out to that left flank. Harriman-Anous brings it under control, full of confidence, isn't he? Washington now. Lovely ball into the box. It's just too high for Augustien, but it's volleyed in brilliantly by Kaydak O'Neill. How about that for technique? A wonderful delivery into the box from Washington. And O'Neill watched it all the way before volleying back across goal and into that far corner. Reading 0, Arsenal 3. And this is turning into a bit of a thrashing. A brilliant start to the second period from Max Porter's side. Look at that, he just adjusted his position and then his body shape to make the cleanest of contacts. Take nothing away from Washington, who produced a pinpoint delivery. Augustien's movement towards the cross Might have put some players off, but not Kadak O'Neill. How about that for a finish? Reading 0, Arsenal 3. And there's still over half an hour to play. Here's Washington, fresh off the back of producing that wonderful assist. Here he is again, into the path of Harriman Anous. Such a strong runner. As he fouled, there he was. It was Luke Howard who made the challenge, and Luke Howard is the latest to go into the referee's book. A little bit of frustration there, perhaps. Both the yellow cards that Reading have picked up in this game have come from situations where Andre Harriman Anous has been on the charge and has created panic among the Reading ranks to the point where they feel the only way to stop him is to bring him down. Clark's given that away. Can Julian pinch it back? Not without committing a foul. Reading free kick just inside the Arsenal half. Now on the clock. Hope you enjoyed the highlights at half-time of Arsenal's 4-1 win at Spurs yesterday. You can watch that back on the Arsenal website and app as many times as you want over the coming days. Well, I've seen it a few times. Augustien. Porter will send this forward for Arsenal. Mooney trying to get on the end of this. Was there a little push there on Philip Dewar? I think there was. Washington misses that. Salmon had to get creative in the way that he helped it back to Porter, of course. Couldn't afford to play the back pass. Steeped down brilliantly there. That's a bit of a loose touch from Ibrahim. Oh, Julian steps in to help out, but Ibrahim is in trouble here for the challenge that he made there. He'll be shown a yellow card. That's Arsenal's second booking of the evening. Just confirmation of that yellow card on your screens there. Reading are preparing a couple of changes. Salmon has to deal with that. Back to Porter. Nicely taken on the chest by Jaden Dixon. That'll be an Arsenal ball on this near side, but not before Reading make their changes. Sam Harrison and Rhys Evans are about to come on. First player to make way is Cian Coke Miles Smith. He's replaced by Rhys Evans. And Luke Howard, who was just booked a few moments ago, is replaced by Sam Harrison. Dixon down the line. And he smashes it out towards that left-hand side. It's turned out to be a lovely pick out. If he intended it, fair play to him. Harriman Anous into Washington. Ibrahim was just trying to lay it back off into the path of Harriman Anous. I have to say, Harriman Anous off that left-hand side is a really interesting proposition. Once you free him up and have him carrying the ball inside, which he does so well, it's very, very difficult to keep a hold of. Led by Washington. Just prevented that Reading breakaway. Peter Scott, who's made a couple of changes in response to his side conceding a couple of goals at the start of this second period that have probably decided this game in terms of its outcome. I'm sure he'd like to see his team have a right go though in what remains, which is just under 25 minutes. Lovely that from Harriman Anous. Nicely done from Mooney. Back to Harriman Anous it goes. Works it back onto the right foot. Picks out Ibrahim. Mooney thought about the shot. Dixon will take it, but it just seemed to bobble up in front of him, didn't it? As he made contact. Disappointing effort in the end. Lovely combination play though over on that far side again between Harriman Anous and Mooney. Jaden Dixon, who looked like he was cramping up a couple of minutes ago when Reading were making that substitution, he just got down on the ground and started doing some stretches. Still full of energy. This is an opportunity here for Reading, and they've pulled one back. And it's Jerai Jones with the finish. Arsenal caught out in that right back position, you'd probably say. Just seconds after Jaden Dixon ventured forward. Reading taking advantage of the spaces left. Here it is, Dixon couldn't get back. Braden Clark had to stay central. The layoff from Eyi Bachaman. It's fired into the roof of the net by Jerai Jones. Arsenal's clean sheet has gone out the window. They'd kept clean sheets in all of their last four. That would be the disappointment, I think, for Max Porter. That's the only thing that I suppose you could argue makes this anything less than a perfect result for Arsenal, because there've been some brilliant moments, some wonderful goals. Can they go and find another one and restore that 3-goal advantage they held just a moment or so ago? Ibrahim. Dixon. Julien. Clark sends it forward early. Ibrahim looking to pick up the scraps, but he couldn't get there ahead of the Reading midfield player. Brafer. Bachaman. Cross blocked by Jaden Dixon. Brafer again trying to make headway down that left-hand side for Reading, but he's committed a foul. Jack Porter to take the resulting free kick. That's the coaching staff just passing on some instruction and some fluids to their players out there at the moment. That was Andre Harriman and who'd come all the way over from the other side. Fourth official just at the bottom left of the pictures, keeping a keen eye on what those in and around the technical areas are doing. I mean this with all the respect in the world, but Max Porter isn't going to ask as many questions of him as Mikel Arteta might have done. Jaden Dixon to take this on this near side for Arsenal. 3-1 up with 20 minutes to go. Referee unhappy with something there. Couldn't quite make out what he was saying. Dixon's ball. Gets it back. Oh, a little shimmy to that right-hand side. He managed to work himself back in field eventually, though. Here's Marley Salmon into Washington. Reading looking to get out and aggressively press this Arsenal side. Julien. There's control from Dixon, a tired touch. That's going to be a Reading free kick. Nicely cushioned back to his goalkeeper. Dixon with the thumbs up. Wonder what they're going to get in this last 17 or so minutes. Reading going to come on that little bit stronger, or Arsenal going to try and see the result through and just start to take slightly less risks. An opportunity here for Reading again. They're in behind and it was dragged wide by Rhys Evans, the substitute. That was a big, big chance, and Arsenal can count themselves fortunate. They haven't seen their lead eaten into further. Hey, Bachaman with the flick on. Evans did everything right, barring the finish. As a left-footed player, it's very easy to drag it wide from that angle. Fortunately for Arsenal, that's exactly what happened. Salmon is barking out instructions as Dixon plays that forward, and that's going to be a foul, is it, on Kadak O'Neill? He just looked to wriggle away, didn't he, from Philip Dua. Reading captain entitled to say his bit, asking the question. So another look at the coming together. It wasn't actually Philip Dua who made the challenge. It was actually Kelvin Abrafa. Demian Augustien is going to take this. Dutchman places the ball down. As we approach the last quarter of an hour here. To the box it goes, and it's an own goal. Arsenal's 3-goal cushion restored. Turned into his own net by the Reading skipper. Philip Dua with the final touch. Not quite sure what he's remonstrating about. Well, the referee's got some sorting out to do here. Interesting to get another look at that, because Reading are protesting about something. Let's have another look at it. Augustien's delivery into the box. I think they're claiming that Marley Salmon was in an offside position. But Marley Salmon doesn't get anywhere near it, does he? Philip Dua's already put the ball in the back of his own net by the time Marley Salmon even comes into play. Should the flag have gone up earlier? That's the argument from Reading. The referee's allowed the goal to stand, and so he clearly has no issues with it. And the referee's going to come and show a yellow card to someone. Not happy with the ongoing protest. It was Kelvin Abrafa who was booked there. I mean, I suppose it comes down to whether or not you think that Marley Salmon was affecting play there. If he was offside when the delivery left Augustien's feet, then you can understand why Reading are complaining, because he does influence, I guess, in some way, Dua's decision to attack the ball. Otherwise, he doesn't feel the need to clear it, does he? Controversial one here at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. I will say this, I'm sure the referee, Elliot Swallow, knows the rules far better than I do. I feel like there's so many changes and so many different interpretations these days. It's difficult to keep up with it all, isn't it? I don't know what handball is these days. Barely know what an offside is. There is a chance that the Reading number 3, Kelvin Abrafa, was playing him onside as well. It's one that I'm sure will be unpacked later on, but what matters is that Arsenal are 4-1 up, and they're about to bring Archie Stevens on. Nice control from O'Neill. Went for the spin, couldn't quite pull it off. Osho. Jones looking to get on the end of this. It's really well done by Marley Salmon. He was just caught by Jones as he looked to motor away. 78 minutes on the clock. Reading 1, Arsenal 4. In fact, Arsenal are going to make 2 changes. Alex Marciniak is also about to enter proceedings. Demian Augustien is the first who's going to make way. He is on a yellow card as well. Applause from those of an Arsenal persuasion, I'm sure, who've found their way into the Select Car Leasing Stadium this evening. Augustien for Stevens, and the second change is going to see Marciniak on to replace Andre Harrimananus, the scorer of Arsenal's second goal. And what a goal it was. He'll make his way off over on that far side. Bit of a shake-up in the attacking areas for the Gunners as we enter the last 10 minutes or so of this PL2 game. Braden Clark just taking the safe option there. There's a Brafer. Fizzes it in towards the Arsenal penalty box. And Batraman looking to dance his way through, and he has. And he just tried to dink it over Jack Porter as he came rushing out, and he didn't quite catch the ball right. He knows that was a big chance. Would have been a wonderful goal as well. Brilliant feat from the big man to shuffle his way through. Braden Clark was beaten all ends up. Better serve, just trying to slot that down the side of the goalkeeper instead. Reading are going to make another couple of changes. Carter Bowdery's on. Jones and Rinomota are the two that have made way. Joe Barrow is also on for Reading, who have made 4 changes now. Rinomota for Bowdery. Confirmation of that there. And Barrow on for Jones. And Clark with a somewhat acrobatic clearance there. Arsenal look like they're going to bring Joshua Ogunaki on as well. This game edges ever closer towards its conclusion. Well, Reading wanted a free kick there. Marvin Batraman did go down under Braden Clark's challenge. Referee not interested. Play does continue though. Here's a Brafer. Left-footed delivery into the box. Stevens does well for Arsenal. Looks to motor away with possession. Tyler Saki wasn't going to let him pass with ease though. There is Joshua Ogunaki. Just 17 years old. He's been described as an attack-minded, powerfully built fullback. And he's going to come on and he's going to replace Jaden Dixon, who's had a good game all round, but in fairness has looked tired this last 10-15 minutes or so. First start for Jaden Dixon. He's given another good account of himself. Can Ogunaki contribute here in the last 6 or 7 minutes or so? It'll be interesting to see where exactly he slots in. Looks like he might be going to left back. Or is he just filling Washington's position for the time being? Because Washington, as you can see, is just on this right-hand side for the time being. We'll keep an eye on that. It's nicely done by Hicks. Letting lose out though. Kadak O'Neill was looking for Archie Stevens, who was blocked off there. Osho. Just nudged there, wasn't he, by Mooney, who's going to go into the book. And he's in the book for 2 reasons tonight. Arsenal's first goal scorer with that spectacular finish. He just had a little tug, didn't he, of Osho's shirt there as he looked to pass him. Sometimes you see at this level referees that are a little bit reluctant to reach for the pocket and the cards, but Elliot Swallow's not messed around tonight. Whenever he's felt that it was justified, he was straight reaching for his pocket, no hesitation whatsoever. Be interesting to see the average numbers in terms of yellow cards in a PL2 game. Here's Clark. Less than 5 minutes of normal time to play. Arsenal 4-1 up here at Reading. They can head back on the 4 and back towards London. Pretty pleased with themselves. Saki. Osho under pressure from Ogunake, who has stayed out on that left-hand side, interestingly. Driven ball up towards the centre-forward, Bachaman. Washington was on hand to help out. Salmon having to protect the ball. Not really got much in terms of support, but he manages to just spin away nicely and then forces a throw-in for his side. It's brilliant again, isn't it, from Marley Salmon? The composure, the awareness that he has at such a young age of what's going on around him all of the time. It's really brilliant to watch. Brando Bailey-Joseph's coming on for Arsenal. He's replacing Kadak O'Neill. Brando Bailey-Joseph featured in the first team's victory over Kairat Almaty a little while back. Explosive winger. Someone who's clearly been impressing at this level and within the Arsenal Academy, because when there was an opportunity to bring him on in the Champions League, Mikel Arteta didn't hesitate. Here come Reading down this right-hand side with Osho. It's going to be an Arsenal ball for a foul throw over on that far side. Referee unhappy with how long Arsenal are taking over this. Ogunake goes into the book just moments after he enters the field of play. Did he really take that long? Not sure he did. Elliot Swallow thought so though. Well, we're into the 90th minute almost. Played 89 into the 90th. The result has been pretty much confirmed for quite some time. Marciniak, Bailey Joseph, Mooney, blocked by the goalkeeper. Might have had a second there, Evan Mooney. In fairness though to Harrison Rowan, he was out like a flash. Nice little cut back from Bailey Joseph. Nice little change of direction that from Washington. Batcherman on the run for Reading. That's brilliantly done. He tries to centre it. Breaks nicely for Braden Clark, who just miscues his clearance. I'm not sure that was what he was intending to do, but he wasn't taking any risks. There's going to be 6 minutes of added time at the end of this one. We've had 4 goals in this second half. And at least 8 substitutions. Some bookings, some protests over one of the goals in particular. I imagine that's where the 6 minutes have come from, but I'd also imagine that Reading would much rather just get back in the dressing room and on their way back home. It's not been a great night for Peter Scott's side. It's been a good night for the Gunners. This was a game that had the potential really to be a difficult one, despite where Reading are in the table. They've been in good form. Really closing down as that's sent forward. Washington's defensive header. Max Porter will be a little bit frustrated at the fact that his side haven't kept that clean sheet, but overall the positives far outweigh that one negative, don't they? Reading improve the scoreline as far as they're concerned. Little pull there on Osho and Ogunake, who's been booked just a moment or so ago. Maybe has to be careful there, because he certainly had a hold of Emmanuel Osho's shirt. Not sure the referee could see exactly what Ogunake did there, because if he did, he might have been reaching for the pocket once again. He's having a quick word with the Arsenal youngster. And the Gunners' work is not done here just yet. They've got to defend this set piece. Carter Bowdry's going to clip this into the box. Only Salmon made the first contact. It's put back into the mix, but the offsides flag has gone up. And Arsenal can just run down the clock. And coming up to 3 of the 6 added minutes. Porter, in truth, has not had that many saves to make. Arsenal just caught napping in the right back position. That's what allowed Reading in to score their only goal of the evening. Here's Archie Stevens. That's a corner. He's not appealing for anything more, in fairness to him. He's not going to get the corner either. That's a slip and a key moment. Ibrahim into Mooney. His shot was blocked. Wasn't really set for the early effort, was he? Arsenal come again, though. They're not done here. Ogunake's delivery into the box, hooked up into the air by Sam Harrison. close down Roan, who clears up towards halfway. Marley Salmon wins yet another defensive header. He's not even the biggest of defenders, Marley Salmon, but such is his quality and the ability that he has to anticipate. It's just brilliant, and he's just been clattered into there for showboating a little bit. He's going to see a yellow card shown to Rhys Evans, who didn't like that. Batcherman getting involved in the conversation with Marley Salmon, and he had to be just ushered away, the Arsenal youngster. What's wrong with a couple of kick-ups in the 95th minute when you're 4-1 up? Didn't go down well with some of those Reading players. Here it was again. I think that's called leaving one on him. What we've seen there from Rhys Evans. Change of whistle for the referee. Stevens dispossessed. Marley Salmon does brilliantly again. Here's Osho. Still going here. Taken over by a Batcherman, but he ran into trouble almost instantly. Arsenal work it out to the left-hand side. Stevens in a bit of space. Arsenal happy to keep a hold of it here. Here's Stevens again. He's looking for Ife Ibrahim, and that's the last action. Arsenal 4-1 winners, comfortable winners in the end. That man, Evan Mooney, opened the scoring just after the half-hour mark, and there's a little bit of afters here between the two sets of players. Words being exchanged. A little bit frustration maybe on Reading's part with the way the game went.